for joining us for our Chamber Connection podcast. Thanks to our friends at Speakeasy, we are here for the next 52 weeks, bringing you guests from around our community, elected officials, business owners, folks doing great work here in Macomb County. So, sit back, take a listen, and we hope you'll join us every week for our Chamber Connection. Hi, I'm Stacy Ziarko from the Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce. Today, we're here at the Speakeasy podcast studio for our Chamber Connection chat. We are excited to have you here, and my guest today is Brenda Meller from Meller Marketing. She's their Chief Engagement Officer. Brenda, thanks for joining me.
Well, I'm excited, Stacy. It's great to see you in person and to be here.
I'm so excited. And, tell us, first of all, a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what Meller Marketing does.
Sure. So I help people unlock the power of LinkedIn, and I specialize solely in LinkedIn. I help people with profile optimization. I provide LinkedIn coaching. I do team training. So kind of all the things that we need to be more effective on the platform. LinkedIn doesn't do exactly what I do. They specialize in selling advertising and memberships. I help people use the platform more successfui. So I come from a corporate marketing background,
tell us a little bit.
So it's kind of a nice little pivot into that. I developed a knack for LinkedIn early on. I was anti-Facebook and anti-social media back in the day, but I felt like LinkedIn was a comfortable place because it was purely professional. I used it to make a career change at the height of the recession back in 2008. So I figured out how to use it then really and leaned into it more as a corporate marketer. And then through a series of 10 years, really grew a lot of experience. Had an opportunity, the universe nudged me forward, if you will. Had an opportunity to figure out where I wanted to go next. And as I was interviewing, I was having people approaching me. They knew I had really a good sense of how to use LinkedIn. And they said, since you have some time, can you help me with my profile? Since you have some time, can you help me with team training? And I started to realize if I put all these little requests together, I'd probably have a business out of it. Never looked back. And, since 2018, I've been doing this full time.
So do you think that LinkedIn is underutilized?
Absolutely. I would spend more time on LinkedIn if I could. I feel like there's such a huge opportunity on the platform to connect with people in your ideal target audience, in your geography, in your industry, to have access to those individuals. When we think, Stacy, back in the day when there wasn't LinkedIn, we would have to rely upon our Rolodex. Remember that? You'd flip through, or you'd call a friend, hey, Stacy, do you know Bill at such and such company? Can you make me an introduction? Now we can look those people up on LinkedIn and we can connect with them and we can engage with them even before connecting with them. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity on the platform. Mm-hmm.
Well, I also think when LinkedIn first came out, I don't even know how old LinkedIn is anymore, but it was, I'm looking for a job and here's how to, that's how I always interpret it. It was only for people looking for jobs. It's evolved since then, hasn't it?
Well, it's interesting because it's always been more than job search. But I think for LinkedIn, they attracted a large portion of people coming to the site as an alternative to Monster and Hot Jobs because it was this professional networking platform that had a job search element as a part of it. And there's actually statistics that will show there's more people using LinkedIn for professional networking purposes, personal branding, company visibility, and having those conversations than there are using it for job search. But to your point, I think a lot of people, when they first came on, they were thinking it's a job search site. So even now when we talk about underutilization, there's a portion of people who don't want to use LinkedIn because they don't want their boss to think they're looking for a job, right?
And there's more to it than that. It's funny, I was on a conference call with someone last week, and we were talking about people. And I said, do you know so-and-so? And she had LinkedIn pulled up,
right? And
she was searching for people. And she goes, we are second connections. Hold on. And she goes, oh my gosh, she goes, this woman and I have 130 some connections in common. I probably should meet her.
Right.
So I think that is a little bit about what we don't use it for.
Right.
So talk a little bit about what your business with LinkedIn does and how you can help people on the platform.
Yeah. And, for me, it's kind of interesting. I come from a corporate marketing background. So I have all these years of experience on focusing on who is your ideal target audience? What are your business goals? How do we layer that in with this year's strategy and kind of move forward? And developed along with a knack for how to use LinkedIn successfully. So the clients that I work with are typically at the executive level, and they are what I like to refer to as experience rich. Okay. They've been around the block. They understand how to do their business. But now there's this whole other platform with a way to build out their personal brand, demonstrate thought leadership, using it for business development, networking, but they can't figure out quite how to use it the right way. So one example I'll use, there was an executive I worked with recently who was at she was at a VP level, wanted to make a job move, didn't want to alert her employer, wasn't coming up in any searches by recruiters. working with me, we kind of went through her profile, we optimized it so that she was coming up in more searches with the relevant keywords, but also we weren't throwing off any red flags to her employer. We were making her look like a great brand ambassador for the company, which it's kind of like a stealth mode thing, right? We were making her look good for the company. They were impressed by her. And by the way, it made her very attractive to hiring managers and recruiters. And she said within a month of having her profile redone by me, she was contacted by 3 recruiters that had open positions for 4 to 6 months, but they never found her. So in that case, it was, for her, it was a way of making herself more accessible on the platform to people that were looking for her. So that's one example.
So how does someone who's, not job searching, use LinkedIn? What should they be doing with the platform? How should they be on that site, and what should they be doing?
So let me talk about some chamber members. And a lot of us are relying upon our chamber membership to connect with other members, whether we're attending events, etc. What I like to do is, we collect business cards or not. As you're meeting people at events, I recommend connecting with them on LinkedIn. And not only so we can learn more about their background, as you were explaining earlier, common connections, things like that, but when we meet in person, we have conversations, and then we kind of leave, right? And that's it. When you connect with people on LinkedIn, we can now start to see their updates, things that they're posting about, things that their companies are posting about. We see them in the homepage feed. And a lot of times those people that you meet at that chamber event, they may not be a referral or a lead source for you that very day. But 6 months, 2 years, 3 years down the line, they might say, oh, I remember meeting Brenda at that event, and she's somebody that can help with LinkedIn, and then a referral comes over.
Sure.
So I really see it as a way of building up that continual base of leads and referrals coming to you by being visible, by using those networking events.
Because as good professionals, we should be continuing to build our networks, correct? Don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, throughout your career, it's something, even a lot of times when people are approaching me, I do some work working with the job seeker community, and I say this: if you're just starting on LinkedIn now, that's great, but keep going throughout your career, because it's used more by working professionals for networking purposes than it is used by people for job search. But it's definitely a way to to find people and to be found.
Yep.
And also, let's make sure that our profile is set up so that we're telling the right story. So, for example, don't just copy your resume and
I was going to say, so we shouldn't just put our resume up there?
I think a lot of people do that because there's similar fields on your LinkedIn profile: education, experience, the about statement. And the about statement, I'll give you an example. This is a common one. People will just copy their resume, right, or their summary statement, plop it into their LinkedIn. But let's think about this. The goal of a resume is to find a job. That's how your summary statement is written. Your about statement on LinkedIn is really your elevator pitch. It's how you're describing yourself to your ideal target audience. And by the way, Stacey, it's not really about you. Right. It's about that audience who's reading it, and how is that going to resonate with them? Is it going to appeal to them? It's really about how you can help them, or you can help people in their network.
So I had the opportunity to work with Brenda a little over a year ago to kind of revamp my profile.
Yeah.
Because I was curious as to how it worked and would it work. And every time I talk to her now, I think of things, I need to add that. I should change that. I shouldn't do that anymore. But It was great, helpful information.
Yeah.
So here's my question, though, to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's LinkedIn etiquette? Talk a little bit about, I get unsolicited requests all the time.
Right.
I saw your profile. We should connect because I want to sell you X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So if I am a person on LinkedIn, twofold. If someone cold calls me, what should I be doing? And then 2, if I'm out there as looking to make connections,
right,
how do I not come off as that jerk on LinkedIn that's only trying to sell you something?
Well, first, there's a rise right now, Stacey, in automation services.
Yes.
And companies will sell, we can help you to grow your network faster. And what they do is they kind of plug into LinkedIn. And it's an algorithm of sorts that helps to find people who match geography, job title, location, industry, all these other things. And then they send out invitations on your behalf. But they look cookie cutter, don't they? They're very generic, and you can smell them from a mile away. So you get these unsolicited, these invitations that are coming in. They're sales pitches in the invitations, basically. When I get a salesy looking, or what I think is an automated invitation, here's what I do. And this is kind of a fun thing. I reply back with one word: test, T-E-S-T. And that's it. And then I wait and see. If it's a real live person, you know what that person will do? They'll say, what are you testing? Or did I pass? Or something. They'll say something conversational. The bots won't. The automation won't. The bots, the second follow-up message will be, thanks for accepting my request, Brenda. How about we set up a virtual coffee and blah, blah, blah. And then I reply, test 1, 2, 3. And I do this. It's usually the second or third message that I'll get a real-life human being coming through and saying, what did you mean by your previous messages? And then I'll kind of screen out. I'll say, oh, I'm just screening out to see if you're using automation. If so, which service are you using? And they usually tell me at that point, right? But I'm getting them talking. And I think to your earlier point, LinkedIn etiquette. LinkedIn etiquette is let's make genuine relationships with real people. Let's not be lazy. Don't use automation. Not only is it a violation of LinkedIn's terms of service, it's icky.
Yeah.
And the violation, thing, you could get your account locked up. You could end up in LinkedIn jail, and then you're not able to send any invitations. So, but more importantly, I think on a human-to-human level, when you get that, Stacey, when you read that message and it's a sales pitch in the invitation, even if you want to do business, even if it's something you want to do, it's a turnoff.
Totally.
Right?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I get at least one a week of somebody that was like, I came across your profile and think that we would be great together and blah, 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 blah. And it makes me not want to do business with that person.
Right.
And so how is me as a user, right? How do I come across not being a jerk? What's the best way to, Brenda, you and I aren't connected on LinkedIn. What should I be saying to you in my opening message?
Well, let me give you one other alternative to respond, and then I'll talk about in the invitation. So when you get those salesy automated invitations coming to you, if you don't want to do the test thing, it is a little bit of a time suck, but if you don't want to do the test thing, instead reply back and I try to sell them back. Thanks for your message, Brenda. Are you a member of the Sterling Heights Chamber yet? If not, would you like information on how to join? Don't respond to their question. Just do your pitch back to them. So whatever it is that your business is promoting, the products and services, respond in the same way. Don't answer the question. Just go right in.
Love it.
And you may have someone that says, I'm not in Michigan. And then you reply back, thanks for letting me know. Best wishes to you. Close conversation, right? So how do you connect with people what's the right way?
Yeah, what's the right way to do it?
Yeah, so this is what I recommend. Take 30 seconds to a minute to look at the person's profile. Scan through. You're going to find at least one or two things that you have in common, or maybe something that's interesting to you as you read through their profile. So then what I would do is send out that invitation. Always click on add a note. So you add the context there, not the blind invitation, but you want to add a note in there. And then reference that. So I might say, hi, Bill. We haven't met yet, but I see that we're both located in Metro Detroit, and we're both members of the Sterling Heights Chamber. Let's connect on LinkedIn, Brenda Meller. So all the elements I have in there, I like saying we haven't met yet because it takes that pressure off of, do I know you? Do I not know you? I'm referencing things that we have in common from your profile, and you're going to feel like I read your profile. Or if I might say, love your header image, I've got a black dog too, or something on there. They know that I've taken the time to read through their profile. The only thing I recommend that you ask for in an invitation is to connect. It's not, let's set up a virtual coffee. It's not, here's my sales demo. It's not, here's my website.
Here's my Calendly link.
Calendly link, right? Those are very popular right now, but it's let's connect on LinkedIn. And if they accept it, now you have their permission to email them. At this point, it's kind of like dating a little bit, right? So you don't want to go on a blind date and propose marriage before the appetizers arrive.
That would be a very bad date.
But a lot of people do this on LinkedIn, right? They go overly aggressive. And I've talked to one salesperson recently, and he says, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And I said, how's that working out for you so far? And, of the, 100 messages he sends out, he might get one response, and it's really hard to do so. But let's think about if you made the invitation all about them, they accepted, then you message them back. Thanks, Stacey, for accepting my LinkedIn invitation. Let me know if you ever have questions about the Sterling Heights Chamber, right? Or let me know if you ever would like to know more about my LinkedIn services.
Sure.
Then you walk away. Mic drop, walk away. Let them respond back. If they don't, it's kind of like we're playing a game of tennis. I've already thrown you 2 balls. I'm waiting for you to send a ball back, right? If you don't, I take that as my answer, right? And then at that point, what I might do is go to your activity feed on LinkedIn, find something that you've recently posted about, and engage in conversation, right? It's showing respect to you. Mm-hmm. It's helping you to get more reach for your posts. You might go, gosh, I think Brenda sent me an invitation recently. I haven't responded back. I might be more inclined to visit that person's profile or maybe to message them back at that point. So that's some etiquette there.
So you took all of your LinkedIn expertise and you wrote a book.
I did.
Show us your book.
So I call this Social Media Pie, How to Enjoy a Bigger Slice of LinkedIn. And this was kind of years on my bucket list of, putting this together. And it's blogs, it's thoughts on different techniques on LinkedIn. But I kind of break it down all into, if you want to get the most out of LinkedIn, if you want to get a bigger slice of LinkedIn, focus on pie. So P is profile optimization, writing it for your ideal target audience, looking at it from top to bottom, making sure you're reviewing it once a year or so. The I is what we talked about, invitation and messaging strategy. So using a more strategic approach to connecting with people. And then even like, what about those invitations you get from people you don't know?
Yeah.
Let's screen them in. Hi, Stacy. Thanks for the invite. Have we met? Let's get them talking. And there may be a reason they sent you an invitation. It might be because they want to join the Sterling Heights Chamber, right?
And you don't want to offend someone that does either want to do business with you or join your organization.
Right. So let's give them that opportunity. So the P is profile optimization, the I is invitation strategy, and the E is engagement. And that really is a lot to do with spending time in the homepage feed, participating in conversations, being a good LinkedIn member, reciprocating in terms of commenting on posts, participating in conversations, and then also posting. You need to be visible by posting on a regular basis. So probably what I'm going to do before we leave here today, I'm going to
take a picture.
Take a picture of the two of us along with the gentleman who's producing the show today. I'm going to tag you. I'm going to tag the Sterling Heights Chamber. I'm going to tag the podcast business as well. Yep. That kind of shines the spotlight on others. It's not about me. It's about, the people I'm with and the events I'm attending. So, by engaging with other people, you'll get more out of the platform.
So, and I think you told me one time that when you engage, you need to engage with 5 words.
Yeah. See, look at that. You remember.
I do. And I do. Like when I think about things like, instead of just saying congratulations to someone if they have a new job, it's congratulations on your new job, and something else because I don't get to my 5th word. So you said that kind of also increases engagement, correct?
Yeah. So there's this algorithm that's kind of running behind the scenes on LinkedIn and other social networks too, but it's rating conversations by how engaging are they. So for you and I, it doesn't take a whole lot to say congrats, thanks, nice job.
Right.
It's really, and sometimes LinkedIn will offer you those little helpers like congrats, and you push on the button.
Do you want to say congratulations?
Right. But if you actually put a thoughtful comment in of 5 or more words, and it does 2 things, is one is it demonstrates to the other person that what they had to say that you're responding to is worthy of something a little bit longer response. And what I like to do, I have 5 or more words, so you got 5 fingers on your hand to remember that. So if you want to say congratulations, if you see that, so-and-so got a new job and you want to send them a congratulations note, don't just say congrats, Jim. Congratulations, Jim. Best wishes in your new role. Like that's 8 words, right? Done. And sometimes what I encourage people to do is 5 words, but end with a question. So congratulations and best wishes in your new role. Is this a promotion or a new job? What are you going to do when you get a question? You're going to reply back, right? You're going to get some dialogue going back and forth.
So, and your book is available on your website. What's your website?
It is mellermarketing.com.
All right. I have a copy. I have read through it. One thing that I'm always so impressed with is when you talk about the social media pie, you have made pie part of your branding.
I have, yeah.
Which is smart.
Yeah.
Because now every time I think I see pie, I think of Brenda because you've made it part of your business brand and your personal brand. That's important.
Right. Absolutely. And, like pie is like it has nothing to do with LinkedIn. It really nothing. I mean, I don't know if you know the backstory behind this. So years ago when we done a presentation at the Dave and Buster's with the Sterling Heights Chamber.
Okay.
I don't know if you were there at that time.
I don't think I was there yet.
So I wanted to do it. It was social media business tips. And I wanted to do a presentation that was entirely different. And I'd kind of like played with pie as a theme before. My entire presentation was pie. One slide was a picture of bananas. The next slide was a picture of banana cream pie. Apples, apple pie. Cherries, cherry pie. The whole presentation. And I used a hashtag called social media pie. It's in the book. I talk about this. And it was just on a whim. At the end of the presentation, I brought a pie. I did a business card drawing, gave away a pie. And the person who won it, you would have thought they won the lotto. She was so excited.
Who doesn't like pie?
And afterwards, there was a woman, Pam Tedesco. I'm not sure if she's still a member of. Okay.
Her husband's on our board.
Okay, good. So she blogged about it, and she talked about this presentation, all the key takeaways. And it was like for weeks after, people were talking about this presentation using hashtag social media pie. So at the time, this was like before the book and everything else. And I'm like, I did what any smart marketer would do. I reserved socialmediapie.com and all the handles on all the major networks with that. And that for me kind of planted the seed, like bringing something in that's nothing at all related to my business as a personal brand element. Even on my LinkedIn profile, if you read my about, it says, in your invitation to connect, tell me your favorite kind of pie. Throughout the book, I have those. I don't know if you notice at the end of every chapter, I have a person telling me their favorite kind of pie, right? So it's a little engagement technique.
I think personal branding is so important. Like what people, so like I said, when I see pie, I think of you.
Right.
I was explaining to a group of high school seniors a couple weeks ago that I spoke to that I have the University of Dayton as part of my personal brand. So when people see Dayton, they think of me. It's important for you to have that and be open to talking about it. Don't you? Do you think that has helped you and people connect with you because of that?
Absolutely, because the pie thing is not really about me.
No.
Because when I go to an event and I say, we'll do introductions and I say, tell me what you're looking to learn today and tell me your favorite kind of pie. It always brings up some type of a memory, emotion.
So what is your favorite type of pie?
I get that a lot. So my standard response, and I'll stick to it, is it's like picking a favorite child. I love all pies. I love high quality pies with good crust. Right now I'm kind of on the strawberry rhubarb kick.
Okay.
But I will try any good pie. And when I go to a new town, I always try to go to bakeries and get the local pies too.
I just saw the musical Waitress
yes!
a few months ago. And,
did you? Yeah.
They have it's a very long conversation
I saw it,
about pie.
Yeah, with the whole movie, it's kind of like this premise of her in the shop.
Pie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, when you're looking at your LinkedIn feed, what are things that you should post and what are things that, this is not appropriate for LinkedIn, take it to Facebook?
I don't know if there's a whole lot that I would say it's not appropriate for LinkedIn. When I see some of those posts sometimes, and people are critiquing, I'm like, I get trolls on my posts too that will critique things that I say. And I always reply back and say, thank you, Jim, for taking the time to add a comment to my post. By doing so, you're actually helping to broadcast this post to your network. So thank you on behalf of my network. I think about, LinkedIn is a professional networking site, but you and I are human beings who have families and dogs and works from home and, all these other things. So sometimes doing a more personal post where it's not all business related, you actually get a lot of engagement on that. Very rarely do I, for example, post a picture of my family, but when I do, that post blows up, and people like seeing that you're a real person or a real human being. On the whole, do I post the identical same things on Facebook and on LinkedIn? Absolutely not. And I don't know about you, I kind of step back from Facebook a lot more. There's a lot more controversy on there, I feel like, lately. Whereas on LinkedIn, it's more of a safe environment. It's kind of like going to the office. What are the things that are appropriate to talk about in the workplace? Having said that, I avoid highly controversial, politics, even, things with religion and, there may be even other subjects.
Controversial issues going on.
I mean, if you feel passionate about something to talk about it, just be aware that you could lose clients or business over that. If it means that much to you, if that value is something that you believe in that strongly, you can post about it on LinkedIn. But know that there may be people who don't share that same point of view and that could disconnect from you, block you, etc.
And I think you use a good example of what would you talk about at the water cooler if you were back sitting at your office?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is that the first thing you would say to someone in the morning? Is that still then the appropriate thing to put on LinkedIn?
Exactly. Yeah. And anything that goes on LinkedIn or anywhere on the internet could be shared, right?
Stays there forever,
right?
too.
Mm-hmm.
There's always the screenshot, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you could tell people one thing that is, your biggest tip that you say, this is going to, if you do nothing else after listening to me today or reading my book, what should somebody do on their LinkedIn profile?
Oh, just one thing. I'm going to give you one that's like maybe something that a lot of people.
You can give me one and how's that?
I'm gonna give you video as an example. So there's this area of your profile now. I don't know if you've noticed on your LinkedIn headshot photos. Sometimes they animate and then there's a video that's playing behind it.
Oh no, I have not tried this yet.
So check this out. And not a lot of people are doing this. They actually launched this feature and they originally were calling it the cover video. Now they're calling it the profile video because it sits behind your profile photo. You can do up to 30 seconds, but by the way, you should really, there's probably a new client calling. Hold on. I'm sorry. Phone's ringing. There's actually a 30-second limit, but you should really make it 29 seconds or fewer so that you can upload it to your profile. And 3 seconds appears in the preview. So if you look at my headshot photo on LinkedIn, you'll see I'm kind of looking around, making some goofy, because I'm trying to capture your attention. And then I go into my introduction. This is my elevator pitch, my introduction of what I'm doing. Now, my advice is if, for an example, for you, Sterling Hayes Chamber, or other organizations that are doing a lot of events, you can swap out that profile video with a new message every week. So trying something a little bit different on there. It's not a feature that everybody's using.
Sure. Nor
Nor is it something that everybody's comfortable with, so it can really help to distinguish you from others.
And it's important for you, like from a business perspective, to have a presence on LinkedIn too, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And whether you're self-employed or you're working for a company, LinkedIn can definitely be a huge asset for you. Mm-hmm.
So I personally think that like LinkedIn is probably the most underutilized social media platform out there. I think for all of us looking to engage with each other and engage with business, it's the perfect place for us to be. Yet I can't tell you how much time I spend watching Instagram stories.
Here's my advice. I mean, there's so many different sites out there that capture your attention, and there's the TikToks and, other things out there too. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. I have the same 24 hours you. I don't get 48. I get 24 too.
If you got 48, I was going to figure out how you did it.
Like, how do we get more? But every day we choose how to spend our time. Every morning when you pull open your phone, you choose, are you looking at your email first, or are you going to spend 15 minutes on Instagram that turns into an hour, right? So what I recommend that you do is go onto LinkedIn first, because that's the network that's going to support your business. That's going to support lead generation. That's going to support your job search if that's what you're looking to do. Instagram is just kind of brain candy, right? It's mush.
It really is.
Cat videos and funny things and things like that, or TikToks and things like that. But spend the time, and sometimes you're not going to find it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So find it at the beginning of the day. Go on LinkedIn first.
All right. You heard it here first, is to go on LinkedIn first every day. Brenda Meller, I feel like we could talk all day about this. So thank you so much. I definitely recommend you checking out Brenda's website and the tips that she offers on how to increase your profile and get a copy of the social media pie. Enjoy eating your favorite pie. Brenda, thanks for being here today.
It was a delight, Stacey. Thanks so much.
And please tune in and join us the next time for our Chamber Connection. Tuning into the Chamber Connection. Be sure to check out information on the Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce website, our Facebook page, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We look forward to you connecting with us and tuning in next week.